Hey, how you doing? AmpRepairGuy.com, 203-892-4119. Also, HarbachElectronics.com. Please like, share, and subscribe. Super busy here in the shop. Lots of Harbach orders also. So I'm going to talk about something. I've mentioned this before. Even before I purchased Harbach, before it was offered to me graciously by Mr. Jeff Weinberg, I had the same exact policy. So if an amplifier comes in with a non-Harbach board, one of those fake ones with the cruddy capacitors, cruddy components, it's pretty much all of them across the board that use some new old stock parts or substandard parts. I have assets and nothing can, like if I work on something, it has to be correct. And if I see something that is questionable or possibly a liability, dangerous, either like a fire hazard or something that could, hurt someone or do some sort of damage to one's property, I have to change it. So basically, across the board, I've always taken those boards out and I've ordered kits from Jeff, and I never got a kickback or nothing. They just were quality kits. That's why I purchased the company, invested a bunch of money, and actually use better caps now. I have to update some of the pictures on the site, just haven't had time. So, yeah, so if you invest in one of those kits and then you need the amp fixed at some point, you're wasting your money. So I recommend just order a Harbach kit. Do it once, even if you don't send it in. Those kits, a lot of times they fail. I've seen them come in where a cap is popped, electrolytic cap, and you could do, why risk it? Why do something twice? You think you're saving a few dollars? Just not worth it. Okay, so, I've had people ask me here and there about buying boards. Jeff used to sell blank boards. I don't do that anymore because back in the day I used to see Harbach amps come in with Harbach kits and they had just the board with mismatched capacitors, the wrong types of resistors, so that just give Harbach a bad name. And I really, the name of the company and just the quality and everything it's easier to maintain than rebuild. So if someone buys an amp and has a Harbach kit, good chance, it's a genuine Harbach kit with quality components. And again, it's just not worth it. Just, the Harbach stuff is more to help people, don't really make much off of it. I mean, I make way more fixing amps and doing other projects. So, it's just not worth it. Not worth risking the name. Okay, so I have an Alpha here. I'm not fixing it. Works, customer said, but this fan, the bearing is bad, so I'm going to pull the fan off, replace it. And this is an option. So customer said I could just remove it. He said it was loud, but it's the bearing, so he said to replace it. So I'm going to replace it. And same customer dropped all this off. He has to pay Connecticut sales tax. So you have the Alpha, I have an L7, which is on a t-shirt, and I have the L4B. When I go to work on that, it'll, it's so clean it'll go on the t-shirt. Usually work on stuff on this rubber mat, but full shop here, I have to pick up more amps. So waiting on parts for the supplies. They're going to get, those actually have generic kits in them, and I believe they're like over 10 years old. So they're going to get swapped, and I'll go over that when I get to that. But so all these 3 amps are owned by that one customer. I have more amps to pick up. So let's talk about this amp. First off, SO239. One of them has like no grip. It's the output one, the most important one. See? So I'll swap both with high quality ones from Max Gain Systems. Customer tried to fix this himself. So he put the strap around the base, and it's dangerously close to the chassis. So I don't think he hooked up the B positive wire. I don't know what's going on here. Hopefully I can save this choke. So he tried taping up the anode caps with this blue painter's tape. So the transformer is bent sideways a bunch. Leave it happen between who we bought it from and him, not me. Between him and me, but who he originally bought it from. I guess the insurance paid out, so I got this for free. So he doesn't mind investing the money in it. So I bent it back a bunch, but I'm going to bend it some more because it's pushing this wall over. So the grids are not grounded. I'm going to ground the grids, add the gas discharge tubes below, remove the metal oxide varistors, do the bias mod, clean the input rotary switch, output rotary switch with the oxide gold. Check these plate blocking caps. Make sure, okay, I'll change the straps. I just always do it now because they're like always either rigid or frayed. I'll check the resistors. Parasitic board, check the meter protection diode. Tighten up on hardware, fix solder joints, get rid of the 10-meter mod wire, and compress the socket clips, clean the socket clips, make sure all the retainer clips are under there. Add a longer screw at the base of the plate choke, and that's about it for now. So, you know, fuse holders is. You know what I'm noticing now? You always have to check this because if someone's been really pushing the amp, I'm guessing these springs must compress over time, but you always want to make sure when you plug the fuse in that there's some resistance there. You don't want it to just, you know, twist and because then it's not pushing the fuse in well. So, okay, so I'm going to get to work and I will see you guys soon. It's getting a brand new set of Penta Lab tubes. Awesome people over there. So Scott is actually leaving the company over there. They're getting a new guy. I guess he has to help out with something. I'm not going to get into that, but he might be back at some point. But Penta sent me another 20, so I'm going to try to keep 40 here at a time, 4572s. Always test the customer's amp with their tubes. And again, if you have an amp that requires 811s, I will not work on it unless you put in 572s. And for 1 second here, I'll be right back. Sorry, I had a call I had to take. So, again, if you have an amp that takes 572s, I'm sorry, 811s, I will not work on it unless you put in 572s. You get the tubes at a 15% discount. I make nothing, zero, zip. And if you want to buy, if you're not sending an amp in, or if you already sent one in, you want another set of tubes, just go to pentalabs.com. That's where you get them the cheapest. They're cheaper to buy from them direct than a distributor. And if you want another 10% off that price, put in ARG, so amp repair guy, just ARG at checkout. They asked me to start saying that. I didn't think they wanted, I didn't think they wanted me to do something like that. But they asked me to do it. So they're good people over there, and I help them out any way I can. Okay, so I will be back, so stay tuned. Please, again, like, share, and subscribe. Here are the new SO239s. See you soon. Okay, so 2 things here. Actually, 3 things. So, I don't think he connected this, like I said before. Actually, 4 things. And like I said, this strap does not get reused. The B positive gets connected to this ring. So I don't know what he was thinking. So this wire, the enamel wire to the connection here, which leads back to the plate blockers, was long and it was actually touching the bottom of the board. He's lucky that he didn't have B positive, because probably would have shorted out one of these caps and then would have been bad. The split washer on that board was in the wrong spot. This ring terminal here is supposed to be against the top of the ceramic form, and for the plate choke, and this split washer should be on top of that. It acts like a spacer. Okay, so I will be back. See you guys soon. Okay, I already disconnected the grid wires and took the caps out. This nut was loose right here. So I don't like how they sometimes tag solder this lead. That one's like that, and this one too. So I'm going to remove those, no extra charge, and do it the right way. And had a different 1/4 inch screw going through, and it was actually cross-threaded. So I'm able to save the choke. Luckily, I'm going to compress the socket clips and clean them. All the little black clips are present. Tighten up on these nuts. So I reuse these tabs here. Drill the 4 holes. And people say, why do you do that? First off, you don't want to go through a screw. Second, even though they have a split washer on the other side, these fiber washers, they tend to like dry out and shrink or something, and then I'm guessing that's what happens, and then or maybe something else, I don't know. But these nuts, sometimes they're loose, a lot of times at least one. And with one that's grounded, this is connected right to the grid, and in this situation it had the cap, the ceramic disc cap between here and here. So you just never want to lose a grid to ground connection. Okay, so I also tighten all these standoffs up. Sometimes they're loose, so I'll tighten them up with a 1/4 inch wrench with a Phillips head screwdriver on the other side, and fix that solder joint. Look at that right there. Not good. So it just pays to really go through it. A lot of people, they do whatever, they don't take this out, and then they end up with a damaged tube, and then it's not going to get warranted if you send it back. So if you ever grid when you ground the grids, you always want to make sure the diodes are present on the rear board. Otherwise, the gain will be too high, static plate current will be too high, and then you end up with a instability issue. Okay, I'm gonna get back to work, and I'll see you guys soon. Stay tuned. Okay, so carefully compressed the socket clips, added the 2 gas discharge tubes, replaced these 2 wires. Now they're wrapped around and soldered really well. Fixed the solder joint over there, and grounded the grid connection right to the chassis, 1 per tube. Longer screw into the base of the plate choke. Plate choke is now straight. So the way I fixed that is I put a parts choke in there and I bend it back. I put the longer screw in and bend it back because the metal was distorted underneath it. Okay, so I'm going to get back to work. See you guys soon. So we got the new SO239s from Max Gain Systems. Removed the wire for the 10 meter mod. Restripped the filament leads. Added the wire for the bias mod, stripped the B positive wire, zip tied all the wires. I always use Teflon jacketed wire when I need to run a lead. Silver plated stranded center conductors, multi-strand. So if you see these caps blown up, then there's a good chance that you had a cathode, a plate to cathode short, a plate to filament short. If it has gas discharge tubes in it, it prevents that from happening, but it happens with 811 tubes, the Chinese ones, but not the 572s usually. I don't think I've ever seen one have that happen. So the 572s are direct drop and replacement. I always tighten this nut in the back of the plate tune air variable capacitor, and I'll tighten up on the mounting screws when I flip it up on its side. Okay, so I'm going to get back to work. See you guys soon. Stay tuned. Almost forgot that I removed the metal oxide varistors. And the way I do that is I wiggle them back and forth until the leads break, because if you try to clip them out, there's a good chance you'll clip the bypass caps that are down there also. Okay, I will see you soon. Stay tuned. We're back with the completed Ameritron Al811h. Customer wanted to see it working on 40 meters. Settings, bird 43, 1 kW slug, it's on PEP, going into a bird dummy load, radio set to roughly 50 watts, key the amp, audio hello, 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 just here, audio hello, 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 audio hello, hair over 50, 800, hair over 800 right there, Hello, hello, hello. Audio, hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, hello. Audio, hello, 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 hello. And it works as it should. I'll continue testing the bands. Sorry for the squeaky chair. And I will show you the inside when I'm done. See you soon. Back with the completed amplifier here. I'll show you what I did. Did the bias mod. Had to change one of the meters. One on the left. Because it wasn't going to the proper position on the high voltage scale. I tried to adjust it and it moved around a little bit and it was messed up. So when I put it to the plate current, it wouldn't drop to 0, so I replaced it. And meter lamp works, meter lamp works. Meter protection diode was okay. Changed the straps of the parasitic board, put a longer screw in the top of the choke, longer screw in the bottom of the choke, straighten out the metal that the choke attaches to, properly soldered the B positive to the base of the choke, got rid of that clamp ring like on like they used on the Ameritron ones. Cleaned the input rotary switch, output rotary switch with deoxit gold. You saw everything I did below the sockets. I grounded each grid connection to the chassis, added the gas discharge tubes, carefully compressed the socket clips. New SO239s from Max Gain Systems, got rid of the wire for the 10 meter mod. Took the metal oxide varistors out. Here's the old meter, the MLBs, the old SO239s, tightened hardware, fixed solder joints, and redid the plate blocking caps. So the lead length was way too long, so I unsoldered that, fixed all that. And I'll show you the old straps over here. See, so, and you always want to re-secure the safety choke. So I put a little tab in there and I solder it to it. And also tighten the nut, the back of the plate tune, air variable cap. And that's about it. So if you need an amp repaired, feel free to give me a call. Also, the nuts were loose for both fuse holders, so I tightened those up. Zip tied everything nice. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Websites are amprepairguy.com and also harbackelectronics.com. So I'm waiting on parts for the other ones. I'm going to get some other stuff done. And I have more amps waiting for me at FedEx, so I have to go pick those up. So keep them coming. I love what I do. And I'll do it until I can't. So hopefully another 30 plus years. So have a great day. See you guys very soon. 73.